Unitarian Universalist Church, building community, inspiring growth, creating change. Here in the heart of Kansas City, we come together to create this hour of shared reflection so that we might be renewed in courage for these times and inspired to lives of greater dignity, higher purpose, deeper generosity, and more effective action. May the words and music and images that we offer today nourish our best selves, calling forth abundant wisdom and love, a love that has the power to overcome both loneliness in the heart and oppression in the world. Welcome to our service.
Arise, O souls, all arise.
Good morning. Good morning. Very nice. I'm Richard Thompson, and I'm a member of All Souls. Whether you're here in person or watching online, we're glad you're here. Your presence enriches all of our time together. We are a Unitarian Universalist congregation. Our tradition is a large tent with a room for many beliefs and approaches to questions that matter. That said, our values of inclusion, compassion, and justice are strong and hold us together. We seek to build the beloved community, making room for everyone and creating a world where everyone's needs are met. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Whether you came with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and willing hands. We welcome you today. You may be new here this morning. Welcome. Said that word a few times. I hope that you have visited the welcome table in the lobby where you can learn more about our congregation. Would All Souls members who want to meet visitors please raise your hand? Visitors, as you feel comfortable, I encourage you to talk with any of the people who raise their hands. Fellow congregants, I encourage you to seek out new faces among us. Let our visitors know they're valued. Begin a conversation that has the potential to last a long time. Anthony, could you please introduce our guest musician?
My good friend Brett Jackson here this morning. Brett and I play together at Starlight and the Kansas City Rep, and he is adjunct faculty at KCCC. Full-time faculty. I'm sorry, he just got a job. So we're thrilled to have Brett here this morning. So,
There were a lot of C's there. This morning, our pulpit is graced by Reverend Diane Miller. Reverend Miller served 40 years in congregations and in UUA leadership as director of ministry. She's retired and living in Salina, Kansas, enjoying being close to her 2 grandchildren. Welcome to All Souls, Reverend Miller.
Let us welcome this day and welcome all earth and beings, friends and new connections here in this place, tangible and virtual, the sacredness of gathering. May we welcome each other with open minds and hearts, a congregation here now.
Here today, in this place, and with these people, May we listen so we can hear. May we hear so we can feel. May we feel so we can know. And may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way. Please stand as you are able and join in the affirmation of our covenant, and then remain standing as we join together in song. All right. Together we affirm, goodwill is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Is this on? Yeah. I'd like to invite the children up front with me if you're available, or anyone young at heart. Hi. Hi there. Okay. Hi, welcome. Come on up. Great, hi. All right, can everybody see where you're sitting? This book is called Beautiful Oops by Bernie Salzberg. I have a question. Has anybody ever made a mistake? No? No? You have? Oh, we've all made a mistake. Well, I like your confidence. What if you didn't? That would be strange, wouldn't it? Well, we're going to find out how an oops can be beautiful, okay? All right, here we go. Oops. A torn piece of paper. Has that ever happened? Yeah. Look what happens with it. A torn piece of paper is just the beginning. Oh. Let's see. Every spill has lots. What's on there? Yeah. And of possibilities. There's lots of possibilities. There's a different picture. Yes, Jude?
If you spilled something, you could have just took a paper towel and...
Yeah, a paper towel could have cleaned that up. You're right. But also, it can be puppy dogs. Huh. Bent paper. Oh, look, up here in the corner. What do you think happens? It's something to celebrate. A little drip of paint. Look at this mess. Let your imagination run wild. How cute are they? Yeah. You can just fix it. Yeah. Oh, a scrap of paper. It looks ripped, doesn't it? Can be fun to play with. Look what that ripped paper became. Oh, puppy dog. That's good, yeah. A smudge and a smear. This happens to me all the time when I'm painting. Yeah. Can make magic appear. Huh. Oh, a stain. Who brought their mug with them today? Yeah, a stain. Do you ever put your cup down and it makes this shape? Well, a stain has potential. Yeah? If you play with its shape. All right. Oh, holes in your paper. Has that ever happened? Yeah. Oh, that's your favorite. Holes in your paper are worth exploring. Can you see what's inside there? Does somebody want to come tell me? What's in there? Can you see in there? Look through the hole.
It's more holes. Yeah, it's more holes.
More holes. And in the very back it says, a little creature. It says, see?
It's a little dog.
It's a little dog. I will bring this downstairs and we can all take a peek, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. When you think you've made a mistake, oops. Think of it as an opportunity to make something beautiful.
That's my favorite.
You like this one?
Yes.
Yeah. There's all the creatures we just read about.
It doesn't so...
You found something there?
There's a scar.
A crumble of paper became what? A fluffy sheep. Wow. Well, we're going to head downstairs now and have some fun creating. And if the congregation would like to sing us out, we would love that.
Go now in peace, may love guide all your ways. Beauty be the blessing of your nights and days. Truth on your lips and kindness in your deeds. Faith to follow where the human spirit leads.
Hi, good morning, church. It is so good to be here today. And today we are kind of focusing our special offering for the Justice Action Network on voting rights. And one of our longtime members, Connie Brown Collins, is here today representing the Wyandotte County Voter Rights Network. There is some great information out on the table. Please stop by. The Justice Action Network is happy and that the congregation supports outside work of justice in our community. And this is one way that we do it, by sharing the plate once a month. Today, our offering will go to the Wyandotte County Voter Rights Network, and I encourage your generosity. Please, there's instructions on the screen for ways to donate electronically, or anything you put in the basket will go to the Voter Rights Network. It touches all of our work: environmental, feeding the homeless, immigration, everything. So voting is so important, and we appreciate the work that they do.
Thank you, Angela. As she said, my name is Connie Brown Collins. I'm the founder and director of Voter Rights Network of Wyandotte County. Thank you so much for the honor of being with you today and for giving me the opportunity to share what we do. Wyandotte County is a majority-minority county. We are actually the most diverse county in the state of Kansas, and some say we're the second most diverse in the U.S. Our organization provides underserved communities in Wyandotte and Johnson counties and the state of Kansas with the education, information, and tools to navigate and participate in the voting, civic engagement, and legislative processes that impact their lives. We, the underserved, include the Black and brown residents who are typically not well represented in the policy-making and legislative maneuvering in our state capital. Our organization works mostly at the state level, unless the state dips into the community, as it often does. How do we do it? We provide up-to-the-minute education and information to our community at least twice a month on issues pertinent to our welfare and that impact us. We advocate and fight for our rights by weighing in on bills and proposed policies that have direct consequences for us. For one example, we led the redistricting effort to keep Wyandotte County congressional voting districts whole. We ultimately lost that fight, but we took our case all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and we will continue to fight. We fight against all forms of voter suppression and minority vote dilution. We advocate for minority rights, women's rights, especially reproductive rights, immigrant rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and all other human rights. We also, thank you. We also advocate for public schools, against eliminating history curriculum such as Black history, civil rights, racial and social justice history, and against eliminating DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, from our classrooms. We advocate against banning books. We also advocate in favor of resources and funding for K-12, higher education, and special education. We advocate for health care and health care access, including Medicaid expansion, which we don't have in Kansas. We advocate for safe and affordable housing for everyone, for criminal and juvenile justice reform, and against environmental racism. And today, in this political climate, raising our voices through our votes is more critical than ever. We have a considerable number of registered voters in Wyandotte County. Many just don't vote. And it's our focus, our determination, to turn that around. I think you know that all of our lives, our democracy, our civil society depends on what we do in this coming election. We have got to vote. You got to get your neighbors, your friends, your relatives, your young folks 18 and over, we have to vote. Thank you for any support you can provide us.
Please join me in the dedication of our offering. We dedicate our offerings and our actions to the mission at the heart of this congregation, to build a respectful, caring community, to inspire personal and spiritual growth, and to create change toward a just and compassionate society. Thank you.
This is going to sound crazy. Say yes to everything. Accept all offers. Go along with the plan. Support someone else's dream. Say yes. Right. Sure. I will. Okay. Of course. Yes. Cultivate all the ways you can imagine to express affirmation. When the answer to all questions is yes, You enter a new world, a world of action, possibility, and adventure. Humans long to connect. Yes glues us together. Yes starts the juices rolling. Yes gets us into heaven, and also into trouble. Trouble is not so bad when we are in it together, actually. The world of yes may be the single most powerful secret of improvising. It allows players who have no history with one another to create a scene effortlessly, telepathically. Safety lies in knowing your partner will go along with whatever idea you present. Saying yes is an act of courage and optimism. It allows you to share control. It is a way to make your partner happy. Yes expands your world.
Our tradition, with its long name, Unitarian Universalist, has a long history. We tend to be a community of shared values rather than shared beliefs. While we have a long and distinguished heritage, we keep moving, we change, we adapt and innovate. So this is a meditation for us and for today. So please repeat after me, call and response style. I invite you to trust me, a visitor, and repeat my words. I belong to an ancient tradition.
I belong to an ancient tradition.
A heritage of spiritual and religious wisdom.
A heritage of spiritual and religious wisdom.
I belong to an ancient tradition.
I belong to an ancient tradition.
That has sustained generations of people for thousands of years. I belong to an ancient tradition.
I belong to an ancient tradition.
That has comforted and inspired people.
That has comforted and inspired people.
Through the trials and tribulations. Through the joys and celebrations. Of living, through the challenges and mysteries. Of living and dying. I belong to an ancient tradition. Guided by one central truth. One key revelation. Unchanging generation after generation. And that truth is, we make it up as we go along. Thank you. I once had the opportunity to spend a week at the Salina Institute on the coast of Big Sur, California. This famous center for human growth programs is located on a point overlooking the Pacific, known for the beauty of its location and also for its food and incredible massages. There are hot springs on the site, and before the land was taken over by Jesuit missions and white people, it was a gathering place for coastal native tribes. Salina has been a place of healing and gathering for hundreds of years. I went there for an amazing workshop led by Patricia Ryan Madsen on the principles of improvisation. I lucked into a skilled, warm, creative teacher who had spent 3 decades teaching at Stanford University and founded the Stanford Improvisers Group. While most theater is scripted, improvisation is done without a script. It is a specialized theater art, often done as a way of creating comedy, how it's best known to many of us. Skilled participants work together on stage and create a funny scene or story. Their wit and imagination and the unexpected make us laugh. Improv, as it is called, doesn't have to be funny and isn't always. It can be fun, but not ha-ha funny. It can be real. It can be startling. Improv is a developed skill based on techniques and principles. These can be applied to our personal lives, to relationships, to families. During my week in the class, being a minister, naturally I thought about how useful the wisdom of improv could be for congregational life. Church life and improv are a very good fit together. You heard one of the key principles of improv in the reading, say yes. Another is to trust each other, as you did during the meditation. I'll come back to those, but I want to start off with the principle, which was the subtitle of Patricia Madsen's book, Don't Prepare, Just Show Up. The point of this maxim is that the wisdom you need is already within you. We know more than we think we know. We all have the ideas and the words and the songs we need. Show up as you are. Now, I wouldn't take the don't prepare part too literally. We all need to prepare or practice or study, but we need to be able to improvise for the unexpected. How would the don't prepare, just show up principle apply to today's service? The other night, I had the classic dream about arriving in an unfamiliar place to discover that I was expected to preach a sermon on zero notice. I'm guessing many of you have had a version of that dream. In my dream, the solution that I came up with was to talk about how I go about writing a sermon or planning one, something I'm familiar with and can talk about without any advanced preparation. So my solution was to improvise. However, there was another problem in the dream that didn't solve, and that was that I was in my nightgown. Had that dream, yes. Our UU services aren't spontaneous. We have structure and order, rituals and pattern. And ironically, for me, preaching a sermon about improv, I actually brought a manuscript, but life is ironic. Yet compared to liturgical traditions where the point is to faithfully enact fixed rituals, our traditions are made with lots of unscripted participation. We are making it up as we go along, and those who show up shape the service, not only by what we do, but by our thoughts and interactions in this time together. A niece of mine is a highly trained surgeon. She was volunteering abroad with a surgery team, pediatric surgery team. And an older man showed up at the end of one day with a very large, disfiguring growth on his forehead, hoping that the surgeons there could remove it for him. My niece had prepared for years for her work, but this situation had no precedent. She didn't speak the language. There was no translator at hand. She managed to convey by gestures that he was to have nothing more to eat or drink and should come back for surgery the next morning at dawn. So I don't know how she knew, but she felt she could do this surgery. She knew it was benign somehow, but she had certainly prepared to be a surgeon. But this man was not part of the plan of the children scheduled for surgery. Yet she managed to change the man's life for the better because she showed up and she improvised how to communicate well with him. Just show up. This is great wisdom for church life. Don't decide whether the morning's topic interests you or not. Don't base your decision on the weather most of the time. Don't wonder if anyone you know will be there. Just show up. See what happens. Without your presence, you won't have the experience. Much of the magic of improv comes from trusting that we have the wisdom within and can find it. In every spiritual and religious tradition, finding our inner wisdom and faith involves techniques, practices, skills that become stronger as we do them. Likewise, there are techniques and skills for improvisers who spend years learning their craft, practicing it. We won't become experts within one class, no matter how beautiful the setting, or one sermon, but still we can benefit from hearing the principles they follow. One of the most famous maxims was covered in the reading: always say yes instead of saying yes, but say yes and. Accept what you are given. Build on an interaction. Don't block possibilities. Church life can be frustrating when someone puts forward an idea and hears, yes, but we already tried that and it didn't work. Instead, try the maxim, always say yes. One of Madsen's students was a mother with 3 children. One evening, her 8-year-old came into the kitchen where she was doing dishes and said, "Mommy, Mommy, there's a monster in my closet." The mother would normally have thought it was her role to be a reality test for the child, but after the class, she responded differently. "A monster," the mother exclaimed. "Let's go look." So she put aside the dishes and the reality test and went with her child's idea. They had a wonderful time at the closet, discovering all sorts of things about the monster there. In improv, it is important to accept the offered reality and then build on the gambit. Another principle is to make mistakes. Please make mistakes. We all do, as the children heard this morning. The more risks we take, the more we'll fail. Life is not all winning. There's lots of losing. Tennis great Roger Federer, 8 times Wimbledon winner, was the commencement speaker at Dartmouth this past June. He said that he played 1,526 tennis matches in his career and won almost 80% of them. Then he pointed out that in those matches, of all the points in the matches, he won 54%. He won barely over half the points. He lost a lot of points. He missed shots and made errors. Even a winning champion loses almost as many points as he wins. In improv, when you fail, you don't crumple or throw your racket. You take it in stride and you turn it into the next bit. Matt Smith, who is an improv teacher in Seattle, teaches what he calls the circus bow. When a clown's act falls apart, the clown doesn't shrink back and go, uh-oh. The clown will stand up tall, raise arms, say, ta-da, and take a bow. And then turn to the other side of the circus, the circle, and say, ta-da, and take a bow. So I invite you to try this. Let's practice it here. I invite you to say, do a circus bow in that style. Stand or just do it sitting or in your mind. So, ta-da! Ta-da! Comes in very handy when you screw up. Another wisdom of improv is to respect the other players, to understand the group as interdependent, meaning we do depend on each other. Perhaps you have something to offer your troupe, your congregation, that you haven't been willing yet to share. Sometimes in improv, this is expressed as a maxim, take care of each other. You know, this one is so central to what we do as a congregation. I don't need to illustrate this. And we offer care beyond our own walls to help take care of others. We know that we are interdependent. Another wisdom gained from improv is to be aware of the whole story. To be aware of the team, the troupe, your fellow players. And you need to do that. You need to be awake, alert, and paying attention. Notice the ways that each person contributes. Dial back your ego. Make it about the story, the stage, the group, and not about you alone. A parallel in congregational life is to notice how it takes a village. One person may be preaching on a Sunday, but think of all the other people who are part of a service. The musicians, the welcomers, the greeters, those who are making the coffee, the childcare providers, the tech experts, the coordinators who bring you water and fix the chalice ready to go, all of the offering ushers and everything that people do. These are all gifts. They all bring the magic, like the offerings of improv. You put it all together. Pay attention is an improv maxim. There is the ancient Zen story of the seeker who climbed a steep and difficult mountain to ask for the key to wisdom. The wise Zen teacher said, there are 3 keys. The first is attention. Come back in a year for the next answer. So, a year later, the seeker returned and the guru gave the second key, which was attention. And a year later, after another arduous climb, the third key was, of course, attention. So much of our lives, we are distracted and unaware of what is going on around us. Eyes on devices, mind on anxieties. Learning to pay attention is a skill we need to cultivate. Try some single tasking. Consider attention a spiritual discipline. A given moment on the improv stage will never be repeated. Give it your full attention. This moment in your life today only happens once. Treasure it. Another improv skill is to shift one's perspective, to see things from a different angle. At church, many of us sit in the same place week after week. So I'm going to invite you, if you want to do this, to sit somewhere else for the balance of the service. Give it a thought. From the back, try the front, or side to side, or a choir seat if you're not a singer and you've never been up there. Try it. It's an invitation, not a command. You don't have to do it. I love this kind of buzz in church when people are talking. It's like before the service begins. What a wonderful thing. So notice your new perspective. Do you see things from differently? Is there something that you haven't noticed the same way? You know, try it out. Maybe as you go home today, you could try a different route. Changing our perspective or getting out of a rut of some sort can help us cultivate fresh attention and new perspective. I'm wondering, Anthony, does everybody sing in the choir? Because nobody came up and took a choir seat.
Not off limits.
Yeah, all right. So try it sometime. Join the choir. Well, there are many, many maxims for improvising. Begin where you are. Improv is done with purpose. But I want to finish up today with returning to the first commandment of improv. Say yes, and. One fun way to develop this skill is to take a day to say yes to everything. Support other people's ideas. Follow their lead. Obviously, you have to use some common sense, but I've done this with my grandchildren, especially a lot when they were younger, and it was a no-school day, and we would have what we'd say, let's have a yes day. And I'd say yes to their ideas, and it was really so much fun. You'd think that they would say something really outlandish, like, let's go find the monster in the closet, let's go to the moon. And if they did, we would have made it up. But in fact, they had great ideas, and they were so enthusiastic because they were their ideas. They'd come up with them. So now they're in middle school. They've grown up a lot, and it's been a while since we've had a yes day. But in the summer, I'm with them a lot, and last week, I asked my grandson to move along the laundry at his house, washer to dryer to folder to put away, the endless laundry. And he said to me, sure, in a surprisingly positive tone. And I looked at him and he said, we're going to have a yes day, and we're going to do what you want to do and what you suggest. I loved that he remembered our yes days, and he flipped the script to give one to me. The feeling of teamwork and cooperation and fun was a delight. So try a yes day. Try a lot of yes days. As a church, as a congregation, what you do is congregate. We open up the doors and welcome people in the morning, and we welcome each other, and over time we get really good at it. We have policies and structures and organization, lots of organization. But in 2020, the pandemic meant you suddenly could not do what you do in the same way. So quickly, you were able to pivot. You improvised. You operated with agility. A crisis forced changes, a paradigm shift. But this is a way that improvisation happens in real life. And rather than resisting it, it's really good to use some of these skills to go with it and make the most of it. So we are natural improvisers, we human beings. We can embrace this skill. We can put it to use in our spiritual growth, in our relationships, in our church, in our work for justice. Begin where you are. Take risks. Trust. Ta-da. I invite you to stand as you are able and to sing as you are able. Number 6, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with all my need each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as visions last, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
Go forth knowing that the wisdom you need is within you. Be agile, making up solutions as you go along. Say yes as much and as often as you can. Live with purpose. Love with your whole being. Bless the world with your presence. Welcome the day. Amen.